I wanted to make a quick video about the new D&DBeyond VTT because I think I released a video a while back where I talked about the challenges of creating a VTT in this day and age, like how easy it is to use Roll20. You can go watch the video if you want more. I'm not going to go on a tangent about that. The short version is that I didn't think it was very possible to make a VTT that could compete in any real way. And I'm still holding to that because they haven't released something that would actually become my main VTT yet. But they've released something that is surprisingly good, in my estimation. And there are a couple of really key features that I think are pretty special in this thing. So here's where we'll start. First of all, the map tool. The map tool is the top of their little menu over here. If you open the map browser, you can see that you can upload maps. They also come with some basic maps that you can just use to run a game by default. I don't know why it's not loading right now. It was loading a minute ago, whatever. They've also got your Big B Presents maps, maps from other recent adventures. I assume the plan is going forward, all their adventure modules will be preloaded into this. So I've went ahead and went into keys from the Golden Vault here and loaded in the Vanderbilt Museum of Natural History. And this is what it looks like by default. However, you can turn on Fog of War, which is just a simple layer that obscures the map from the players. It's nothing too intricate. There's no lighting engine in this like there is in Roll20. And then you can use this sidebar tool here, this little eraser, to erase the areas that your players can see. And speaking of your players, you can pretty easily... let me just erase all this. Yeah, you can pretty easily add your players to the map from your D&D Beyond campaign. So this is Lossarine's previous character. We'll put this here. And then if we zoom in, we can see that there's a token on the battle map. And what they will see is all this area over here in the blue will be completely grayed out and obscured for them. And the map in the main area that's well lit up, that's obviously a map that's been revealed. And this is a perfectly serviceable solution for obscuring and hiding map areas from players. I don't really use lighting engines that much, and for how lightweight and quick this thing is, this works just fine. I'm not too concerned about getting a lighting engine in my VTT. And they have the Unity one coming down the road if you really want to get fancy. This is obviously just supposed to be a sit down, play the game, go on sort of VTT. So as we saw, adding players to the map is pretty trivial. You just click the plus beside the player's the character name and it'll add them to the map. Apparently tokens are added on the center of your vision. So if I center my vision up here, and then I add this person here, it'll add them in the hidden area. So if you want to hide something away from the players, that's basically how you would do that. Apparently down the road, they have a plan to hide and unhide tokens on the map, but this is a perfectly serviceable solution to that. And additionally, if I really wanted to hide something like, let's say, a monster, all the monsters from the PHB and the other sources that you purchase are here in the sidebar. If you really want to hide a monster, you can just drag it over here into the void, and your players can't see it there either. So hiding stuff, in a way, you could consider everything hidden by the blue and out here to be your GM layer from Roll20, and that's a perfectly functional solution. I don't have any problem with that. The monsters are pre-sized based on their data in their monster stat block, which I think is pretty cool. So large creatures are going to occupy 2x2 squares, whereas medium creatures are going to occupy 1x1. And if you look up something tiny, like an imp, by the way, it's super cool to be able to just click on the sidebar, search an imp, and get an imp token right away. I really do enjoy that. It feels like the kind of functionality you would expect with a service that you pay for monthly. And this is pretty cool. Yeah, a little tiny imp that's sized appropriately compared to the player tokens that they come against. So I really like this. I think that this is all integrated pretty well. But the killer app, in my opinion, the killer app is the fact that I can go into my phone here, reload here, get it activated. Yeah, here we go. And then I can actually move these tokens around on my phone, and it, like, the map just works perfectly good from my phone. I can run the game fully mobile. So if you have to get up for a minute to go get some water or something like that, you can move enemies around. You can see where your players are moving around. If they ask you to check the map for a second, you can just keep playing like you're still at the table. Really, really cool. And you can see, like, I mean, look here. Here it is. It's on my phone. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm just really, really pleased by the fact that it actually works on mobile. I think probably my screen was too bright for the camera. Oh well. Anyway, if you want to add a custom map, you can do that too. I added my game settings world map over here, and I was playing around with some tokens on it, but yeah, I added my game settings world map to the thing, and you can just open your map browser, go to my uploaded maps. I added this field here. Let's see, we'll just call this field 2, and then I will add it again. Because I actually think there's something really cool about the way that they've integrated maps here that I think is really smart. So I've never seen a VTT handle it in this way before, and I think it's honestly super clever. So if you click here, now you see that they've given you a medium-sized token, and you resize it to the size on the grid. So there's no fussing with trying to line a grid up with the existing grid. You're not aligning the grid to the grid. You're aligning the token to the grid. And that is so smart and so obvious that I can't believe I never thought of it before, because it's such a simple, elegant solution to the problem. You just put this little thing here, you line it up to the grid square, you click save, and bing, bang, zoom, you're ready to play. And now if I add this map, we load it in, here we go. And if I put in a medium-sized creature, so I put in a player token here, they are lined up and sized for the grid. That's just so cool. Now, okay, so it works on mobile. It works really well. I love the grid alignment system. I like how they integrated maps. I like having the adventure modules pre-integrated for me. There are a couple of things that I think that still need to be done in order for this to be an actual contender for your daily driver VTT. The first is that I can't play a VTT that does not allow me to drag and drop tokens onto the map. I mean, primarily, look at how they've done this character token here. You see, this is a ping, so all this white should be transparent, and it's not. And that kind of just looks uglier, right? Like, if you have just the token on the map, it's a little more, I don't know, aesthetic. I like it more. And so I think that they need the ability to drag and drop tokens onto the map. And also when you, sometimes I use drag and drop tokens to represent like a portal or a fire that's spreading over the battlefield. I might need to drag on little fire icons to spread across the battlefield. I might need to drag on a measuring tool to measure, a cone. And that's another thing that they don't have. They don't have a measuring tool. They don't have any cone measuring tools, any square measuring tools. Roll20 just got this, but it's a killer feature that should be standard in an application like this. But we also need like a measuring tool to measure distances, right? Who wants to sit here and count squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I would much rather be able to right click, lay a waypoint down, and then go over here and be able to know what my movement is. So to be your daily driver VTT, I really think that they need a measuring tool. I think it's just a bare minimum requirements. Yeah, I mean, those are my two main complaints. The measuring tool, they've already talked about in their roadmap over here. So they've already said measuring tooling is here. But I really don't think they can consider this a feature-complete VTT until you have the ability to drag and drop an image file onto the map. If they can't figure that out, then unfortunately, I don't think that this is ever going to be an actual serious contender against Roll20. The absolute freedom to just grab a monster image off the internet, drop it into the map, and it pops up and loads and is ready to go. Or say you want some boxes on the map and you just grab a box image, drop it onto the map, and it's ready to go. That flexibility and freedom is vital when you are running things off the cuff or with any sort of improv. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this. I don't want to get down on it. Like, I don't want to, like, as a replacement for Roll20, it's not there yet. But as a replacement for Owlbear Rodeo, absolutely. As an option, you know, if a player says, hey, I'm going to be out of town and I'm not going to be able to use Roll20 from my phone, I can say, hey, everybody, do you mind if we do our battle map on D&DBeyond's VTT? Because we can just, he can be on his phone and the rest of us can be on our PC. And I could absolutely see my players being totally fine with that because this is a perfectly good VTT for that sort of purpose. And, you know, I like the integration with D&D Beyond. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but there's a combat log here. And if you go to your character sheet on D&D Beyond and roll, it'll import your rolls right along here. Yeah, I think it's a great little application. If you want to try it out, you do have to be a master tier subscriber to load maps, because obviously master tiers for dungeon masters, and dungeon masters are the ones who run the game. That may not be how it works in how you use Beyond 20 or D&D Beyond, but that is how they have decided to set it up. It's fine by me. I am a master tier subscriber, so it's perfectly fine. But you do have to be a master tier subscriber to create a map, but anybody can use the maps. So, you know, even free users can load into a map and play. You just need a master tier to run the game. Obviously, the master tier is for dungeon masters. That makes sense. And I would suspect they're probably going to use a similar system when they roll out their big 3D VTT. Honestly, I never saw this coming when they... I never saw them actually making a simple 2D VTT like this. Considering that they are pouring so much money and resources into a big 3D VTT. I was really surprised to see this, but pleasantly surprised. And I've been pleasantly surprised playing around with it. And the feeling of being able to just jump onto my phone and move around tokens and stuff is... I can't explain it. It just feels good. It feels great. And I'm really happy about it. And I wanted to share that because I did make a video about the D&D Beyond VTT and sort of how nice it was to use simple 2D maps. And clearly D&D Beyond agrees. Great. I'm ecstatic. More options is more better for goblins. So if I can have a map VTT and their really cool Unreal Engine 3D VTT and Roll20, you know, I'm always going to have what I need to get my game done. And that's great.